Hello and welcome to Pro Football Focus DFS Lineup Optimizer Show. My name is Tyler Beaker and I am one of the fantasy analysts here at Pro Football Focus. Each week I'll be recording a mini video segment showing you how to utilize our DFS Lineup Optimizer to the best of its abilities and hopefully build some winning lineups. Let's check it out. Last week we looked at single lineups. This week let's take a look at how to build multiple lineups. We'll start by selecting our site, which week we're in, and we'll select the main slate for this exercise. I normally like to build 20 lineups. I like to do the 20 max entry contests as I feel it gives you a good variety in the different types of players you can get. I like to avoid the offense versus defense for this particular thing, and I like to choose a wide receiver for the flex as I think they provide the most upside if you can get one of those guys to catch a long touchdown pass. You'll see that it's very similar to our single lineup optimizer where you can look at each player, their opponent, sort by salary, projection, and value. One of the biggest values of the week is Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a great buy here on DraftKings. I'm going to lock him in at 100% and build some lineups catered around a Kansas City-Pittsburgh game stack. This is currently the highest game total of the week, and we've already seen the total rise from when it was first released. So that means Patrick Mahomes will be in 100% of these 20 lineups, and I'm going to stack him with his number one wideout, Tyreek Hill, in half of those. So we'll put him in there for 50%. We'll put in, on the other side of the ball, 100% Antonio Brown. This Chiefs secondary is in shambles. I think Antonio Brown is in for a big bounce back spot here, and Guy definitely want a lot of exposure too. So let's lock him in for 100%, and then let's go ahead and put in Sammy Watkins here as another guy that we want to get 50% exposure to. That way we've got a good number of Chiefs here to correlate with Patrick Mahomes. So let's run our optimizer. You'll notice that because these numbers do not equal 300% for the three wide receivers that are typically used here, this optimizer will not run. So we'll close out of this, and then we'll have to go through and, well, here's the reason why. If you look at this note here, if you use the exposure settings, be sure to set all player exposures. The optimizer will assume 0% exposure for any player without an exposure setting. So let's go through and set up some exposures. Julio Jones is a guy I want a lot of exposure to this week. DeAndre Hopkins always in play. Keenan Allen. Want some good exposure to this. Devontae Adams, T.Y. Hilton. Let's add a little more juju since he's part of this game. Emmanuel Sanders, Nelson Aguilar, Larry Fitz. You'll see here I'm just kind of putting in some low numbers here just to get a baseline going. Jameson Crowder is another player I'm interested in. Put him up to 10. Ted Ginn at 10%. Quincy and Nunwa. We've got Watkins here at 50. Tyrell at 10. And then Mike Wallace, we'll put him at 20. Alright, so that's another cheap play. Let's see the tight end position. There are four guys I'm interested in this week, Jordan Reed being one of them. Jared Cook is another. George Kittle and Ricky Seals-Jones. Defense, let's split it 50-50 between the Chargers. I like Bosa here against that Buffalo team, and I like Washington here against Indianapolis's offensive line. So let's run the optimizer now. So now we're getting it to run. You'll see that it starts to adjust our exposures as more players are added, and you can scroll down to see the different lineups that it builds. The top one being Mahomes, Alfred Morris, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Wallace, Sammy Watkins, George Kittle, Devontae Adams, and the Chargers defense. I think that's a very interesting play. We got Kamara as the highest scoring running back from last week, and Morris is a guy that I'm very into this week. Lions allowed a league-leading 177 rushing yards last week to the Jets, and I think Morris is going to take advantage of that and run all over the middle of that Lions defense. You'll see he's actually in a lot of these lineups here, as he's one of our best values. If you want to further tweak this, you can X out and go into the running back position and alter from there. Just for the sake of brevity, though, let's just keep the lineups that we have. You can always export to CSV when we're finished, and that's basically it. That's how we run our DFS lineup optimizer for multiple lineups. Good luck.